Welcome to Bold Ventures Television, sister show to Bold Ventures Radio, brought to you by OrgPR LLC and Seyfarth Shaw LLP. Joining host Gene Creech in the studio is Daniel Upton, CEO, and Adam Rice, COO of Looksee.
What do y'all think some of the trends are around social media, and how does Looksee fit into those trends?
You know, the novelty of Twitter is kind of shaken off, and that's what a lot of people thought people wanted to hear and talk about. But what people are really looking at now are these case studies of people using Twitter as customer service tools,
right,
and social media as ways to, effectively market and do things and do PR work.
But also again, sales I think is so important now on Twitter. And people are all trying. We're trying to get down to the next level of Twitter.
Exactly. So I think what we're going to see more in 2010 is that a lot of businesses and product companies that are selling things and marketing firms and agencies are really going to get serious. They're going to start dropping dollars on really comprehensive social media campaigns. It's not enough to set up somebody in your marketing department in a cubicle somewhere with a Twitter account and say, be Comcast or be so and so. Now is the time that people are taking it seriously, and they're going to start throwing money at it. So,
what size company do you think is really ahead of the curve and starting to take Twitter seriously and social media seriously? Is it the Fortune 100, or is it the small guys who don't have the marketing dollars?
Well, I think there's a case study for both and for all ranges of the spectrum. That some of the smaller companies, companies like Zappos, they do a great job, and they did a great job, and they were required. So you have companies like that, and even for smaller local businesses and different platforms like Foursquare are really powerful for that. If you wanted to, I was in Austin recently, and I was at this Sugar Mama's Bakery. I don't want to hawk their wares on radio, but they do a really great job with cupcakes and cakes. And I noticed that if you check in 10 times, you get a free cupcake, and that kind of experience is really rewarding to the everyday cupcake consumer.
Right.
But
the everyday cupcake consumer.
Yeah, well, you can afford to do that if you're
right.
If you're running a Austin's a very healthy city. But so you get really great examples of that too. So you get smaller local businesses using it, but you also have larger businesses that were once seemed to be monolithic. Like if I have a problem with my Comcast bill, if I tweet that my gripe, and somebody catches it or has been listening, I've gotten responses to that, and that's really meaningful. And it's all about creating these meaningful experiences for customers too.
I would say too that a lot of the large companies were kind of forced into the space, because Comcast is a perfect example of everyone on Twitter was complaining about the customer service, and they had to react because they couldn't ignore the fact that there are hundreds of people just complaining every day about their service. And now if you just mention Comcast in a tweet, you'll get an immediate response.
So one of the trends that you're seeing is around customer service. So now, how does Looksee fit into the trends that you're seeing?
Well, I think one of the most important first steps that any company can take, especially those that are still hesitant about getting involved with social media, is to have a really useful listening platform. And I think what we're going to do with our product is provide them with something that's simple to use and easy for them to dip their toes into social media. And for the smaller and medium-sized businesses, we're going to have subscription platforms, and that's going to make it really easy for them just to keep using the tool and setting up their smaller marketing departments with using that. It's not going to be very expensive for them. But for the larger companies, we have a pretty powerful tool that we're developing too, and it's simple for us to use as well, but to provide full-scale analytics too, so we can go through and we can really categorize things. And that's kind of what our program got us doing at Georgia Tech. We're really keen on categories and how to really classify things and get meaning out of textual information, which is rife on the internet. So that's what we're keen to provide for the larger businesses, so we can get them some really in-depth analytics.
I read recently that analytics is like the word for the next 10 years. Companies are, they want to understand where their money's going, where their time is being spent, and so that's a really good space to be in.
Yeah, it's interesting. Adam spoke for a bit at the Lift B2B conference this fall. It was kind of a business-to-business conference on social media, and all of the businesses that were there they were all asking the same question: how do I get return on investment? Because they're used to Google and Google AdSense, and I think everyone's going to begin realizing that it's just positive. It's a good space to be in, and you just need to put some money and put some good employees at it, because it's networking, and it's sales and advertising.
And relationship building
Yes.
and all of that.
Mhm.
And so you need to be able to track it.
Thanks for watching Bold Ventures TV, which is the sister show to Bold Ventures Radio. Both are brought to you by OrgPR LLC and the law firm Seyfarth Shaw LLP. Each week, Gene Creech interviews interesting entrepreneurs from around the country. Every Wednesday night, you can tune into the live broadcast of Bold Ventures Radio at 1620 a.m. or at www.americaswebradio.com. If you have a guest suggestion, send an email to gene@boldventuresprogram.com.